Welcome back to the Sydney Opera House. Yes, we're going to be mucking around with the seat, obviously, and we are going to be doing those carburetors, I promise. But first off, let's finish mucking around with those brakes up the front end, or at least the brake lines. So many variations on how you can mount this stuff, so I've had to swap this end to end. I've mounted this upside down, as you can see, on the shorter bracket, after all, on the left and right hand post, left hand as we're looking at it, as opposed to the right hand, because I tried the longer bracket on there and just didn't kind of work. It was all a bit stressed out. We got there in the end. Now perhaps we can get on with the carburetors. Yeah, they're still sitting there, because I'm still trying to find a 5/16 bloody Jubilee clip. I need to talk to these people. And on the subject of brakes, I'm not sure I want to paint these after all. I just need to, I mean, there's just little nicks on them, that's all. If I could just do those circles, that would be perfect, but I don't think I can. Even with my masking techniques. No, not those kind of masks. They're bloody useless. Anyway, let's muck around with the seat for the time being. So I've done some markings pretty much in the centre that way and in the centre that way, and let's drill some holes. Marked up, appropriate size drill bit, and broken key. Yeah, well. So our first layer of the sandwich, thanks to the seat mounts within the MV Agusta seat. Yes, and I cut up one of those boards. There's a mistake on it, which is why it's now redundant. Where's the mistake? There, see, look, wing mirror. What the hell's that doing there? Yes, it should be up there, not up there. Anyway, that's why I'm cutting out. So, yeah, so that's the short piece that goes under the seat, and it could be, it could be another inch and a half longer, I guess, if needs be, because we could put it in those holes there. Anyway, that's our bit. We've got holes drilled that fit neatly into those, like that, then like that. Now what we need to do is work out how to fan it out of the back. Oh yes, we've already worked that out, haven't we? Yes, those. So, we just need to work out where to drill the holes. And when I say drill, what I mean is just a Phillips. Yeah, that's the beauty of this stuff. We can just poke it in wherever we like, which I'm thinking about there, and take it from there. So this is all actually working out quite nicely. Those spaces there fit perfectly over the existing mounts on the bottom of the MV Agusta seat. These suspension mounts, actually, although it wasn't the original idea, with one of those long 8mm that I bought for something else, I've got a shed load of them, that goes through 2 panels in that position, and then another suspension mount, sadly, because that goes into a void. As you can see, there's nothing here to screw that into. If it was a longer bolt, I could move it further back, but that would change all the angles, and the angles are kind of perfect right there. And so there, we can mount it on there, which will be the same bolt that mounts the back light into that little slot there that it fits so nicely into. So that's all kind of neat and tidy. And has anyone noticed, apart from me, which is why I'm pursuing this idea, actually, because I'm not a big fan of opera. I've never been to Sydney. But yeah, kind of emulates that, right? Kind of reflects that. Am I clutching at straws for another crazy idea, or am I right? And while we're looking at this whole situation, I obviously put the fuel tank on just to give me some reference and stuff. And I had a word with my mate Adam, Mr. Welder, Mr. Machinist, and it's going to be about $100, less than $100, to shift that troublesome tap that's in the wrong place. So, yeah, do I buy a new tank for less than $100? Do I keep this for another project? I've still got the fuel cap to work out, right? I don't know. Anyway, there's the full effect with the brake light in place. I think that's pretty cool, myself. And there's the alternative with no spacer on the very bottom rung. I think maybe somewhere in between the two. I think maybe this one's just a little bit too large. Anyway, I think that's enough prototyping for now. I need to get and draw it out on a computer, send it off to someone who can cut it out with a plasma cutter. I know just the person. But before we move on to the carburetors, I thought we'd just check out how this is going to look on the frame. I think we can call that 12 centimeters. So let's see how that translates down here. Kind of translates beautifully, especially when you look under here, because if you remember, there's some big holes. Yeah, those big holes there. And I think if we're lucky, it's going to fall in those big holes. So we've had some ups and downs recently, so it's nice to have an up, isn't it? Yeah, changed completely wrong. Need to sort that out, but we're getting there. And finally, I think we've jiggled the carburetor boots into place. We're just waiting for those damn hose clips. Yes, still. Actually, we're waiting for some response from suppliers and manufacturers. Anyway, this is how that translates. Yes, there's little two marks there. Obviously, they're not level with each other and need some refinement before we start smacking holes in the frame again. But yeah, that's roughly where it's going to go. So I think we can put this back in its box for now, or ship it off to Adam, actually. I don't know. That's $100, right? Anyway, so suddenly the $50 tank becomes a $150 tank. Yes, welcome to the world of customization. Talking of which, I'm going to be doing, or I might have already released by the time this comes out, a video on what does it cost to actually produce a custom motorcycle. Obviously, it's as much as you want to spend. Oh, and most of the time, more. Yes, like any other project, right? Work out a budget and add 30% at least. So we have visitors outside, and they're very inquisitive. I know, they look like wild boar, but they're not. They are javelina, closely related to the... Anyway, they're rodents. They're big-ass rats. Yeah, I know. And they got big teeth, so I'm going in. Yes, this is how close they are. Yeah, I know. And this is a squadron. We have squadrons of javelina. And these turned up today. What are these? Indeed. Well, they're my 54mm fork mounts for headlights. Yeah, and they're really rather nice. They do stick out a lot, which, as you know, is not something I like. But they fit. They're really nicely made, actually. Yeah, really like them. So I think we're just going to live with that protrusion and work out what we're actually going to do for a light accordingly. I think we're probably going to go for a big 7-inch standard kind of light, actually. I know, shock horror. How conventional of me. You know that's probably going to change, right? And we're all marked up and ready to go. Well, at least as far as drawing it out on a computer's concerned. Thinking about holes, right? Would that look good? Or would that detract from the overall effect? So that's arrived today, and as expected, doesn't quite fit. Yes. It doesn't quite marry up with the old holes. And of course I've moved the suspension, so it's now in the way. Stupid boy. Anyway, could kind of fit like that, and that would just mean drilling some holes in the frame. I think we could do that. Yeah. Meantime, we're just checking under the hood, and obviously we have a supervisor. Ta-da! Yes, thanks to Mike at IDR, we found a supplier who had some clips that fit. They're a little bit long in the tooth, but I'm guessing we can snip them off, actually. Trim them down a little bit. So, we can finally have a go at mounting the carburetor. Only a couple of episodes later than expected. Well, after all that fuss about the clips, I've decided just to offer this up, make sure it all kind of lines up, and it does. I think it's going to be a two-man job, because you need to press these in pretty hard, but as you can see, they're all lining up quite nicely. Can you see? Yeah, just about. So we are good to go with our new boots and panties. And we have the clips. So that's all rather good. And here's the reason why I'm not going to put it back on. So those are plugged up again. That's back in a suitably sized box. Yeah, it's fucking good shoes. Anyway, here's the reason. Yeah, so under here, of course, is the starter motor, which is something we need to investigate and get working. And it'll be a lot easier without all that clobber in the way, right? Oh, I know. Amazing. Bit of advanced thinking there. Thinking ahead. See, I'm learning. And on that miraculous note, I think it's time to call it a day for this episode. Again, quitting while we're ahead. So thanks for watching. If you found it remotely entertaining, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. And encourage others to watch my lunacy.